Right, hello there. Let's just begin with the message I want to share. If you've got a Bible, I'm going to be reading a verse from Psalm 46, verse 6, and it says, "The nations are in chaos, and their kingdoms crumble. God's voice thunders, and the earth melts. The Lord of heaven's armies is here among us. The God of Israel is our fortress." As you can see at the moment, the world is not in a good place with all what's gone in Afghanistan. It's 20 years on from 9/11 with this awful COVID virus, and you can see that nations are in chaos and kingdoms crumble. But what I want to sort of share today is that as Christians we have the answer, and Jesus is the answer. If you look at Acts 2:22 to 24, after the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, Peter then preaches the gospel to people who are listening, and it goes, "People of Israel, listen. God publicly endorsed Jesus the Nazarene by doing powerful miracles, wonders and signs through him, as you well know. But God knew what would happen, and his prearranged plan was carried out when Jesus was betrayed. With the help of lawless Gentiles, you nailed him to a cross and killed him. But God released him from the horrors of death and raised him back to life, for death could not keep him in its grip." As it says in those verses there, God knew what would happen when Jesus came to earth. It was all part of a plan to save the world, to bring men and women back to him. And all what's going on in the world today, none of it comes as a surprise to God. And he has provided the answer, and Jesus is the answer. If you look again in Acts 3, verse 14 to 15, you see again them saying how Jesus is the answer. "And you rejected this holy righteous one and instead demanded the release of a murderer. You killed the author of life, but God raised him from dead, and we are witnesses of this fact." And that was the early disciples who had been with Jesus, and that they had seen him die, and that he paid the price for their sin and my sin and your sin, and that they were witnesses. And today I just want to bring a message that God is the answer. And in a way, it's okay to have doubts and to sometimes have unbelief, because we are living in a most bizarre time, and you can sometimes think what is going on. But if you read in Mark 9, and we'll go there now, you can see that there were other people who were in the same boat, if you will. Mark 9 and verse 23 and 24. "What do you mean, if I can?" Jesus asked. "Anything is possible if a person believes." The father instantly cried out, "I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief." And what I want to get across today is that even if you have doubts and unbelief and you struggle with what's going on and to make sense of it all, Jesus can help you overcome your unbelief. He understands, and in a way, all you just have to do is bring your unbelief to him, and he can help you with it. And it just requires, it speaks other ways in the gospel, that faith as small as a mustard seed is all you need. And that is just what you need today, that God can help you overcome your unbelief. And I just want us to have a quick look at someone who really did doubt what was going on. Was one of the disciples called Thomas. We're going to read his account in a moment. But he had been with Jesus. He had been with Jesus throughout all the time Jesus was on earth. And he has seen the horrific death Jesus had gone through. And when Jesus rose again the first time around, he wasn't there. But then he said that I won't believe unless I see him. And now we're going to go and look at his account. And in John 20, verse 24, it says that one of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer, believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me." And that is just sort of shows that Jesus had time for Thomas. That even though Thomas wanted more proof, he had time for him. And then it ends with the wonderful saying that it says about blessed are those who believe without seeing. And at the end of the book, at the end of the chapter, it says the purpose of the book of John. The disciples saw Jesus do many other miraculous signs in addition to the ones recorded in this book. But these are written so that you may continue to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing in him you will have life by the power of his name. And basically, that's just what you've got to do. You've just got to believe upon Jesus. In these difficult times, the answer is Jesus, and just whatever amount of faith you've got, God can help you with it. So thank you for watching and thank you for listening. God bless.